Mordecai, Celine, and Casimir have all stepped through the portal, made by the pupil of a fomorian eye reacting with these eldritch waters. And now, it is time for Bright. Or perhaps, as we all should know her, Triddle Quill Sharpener. Triddle gets to trundle across the top of the water. Boop, 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 boop. A little hesitation. Some words of comfort by the others in the party. I believe it was Celine. And with a hesitant, tiny shoe, she sticks her foot into this mysterious swirling portal. And we find ourselves no longer here, but there. There. The five of you are in wintry woods. Everything is crisp. A snow has just fallen. You can see your breath on the air. But everything is very quiet. Everything has an air of oppression. An air of something disturbing. Pulling at you slightly in some other direction than the one that you've been on. Bright, on behalf of your people, you are leading a hunt for a flesh tree, a canker in Mesotopia, a threat to your people. And as a woman with great intelligence and the experience in picking, rooting out these trees, you've been sent by your own will, but with the support of everyone around you, to go rid this place of yet another. It is causing unseasonable cold, as you are in Uct, and yet the magic, the corruption, the otherworldliness of these flesh trees is affecting your people and your homeland. And so, with your friends, who all were very happy to step up and help rid Mesotopia of these things, you hunt. And so, Bright, leading the way in whatever fashion you desire, you have Celine, Jacob, Casimir, and Mordecai with you. And as you're traipsing through the woods, you are welcome to converse.
So, how many of you have fought flesh trees before?
Celine speaks up. Well, I was there, Bright, when we ended up first in here encountering it, but it is primarily your people, so I'm following your lead on this one.
And let's be fair, you didn't actually fight the tree, you just got mind controlled by it.
That was
Please
rather funny.
don't remind me.
Until, you know.
Yeah, don't say funny. It was... So, Jacob,
Yes?
your sister, you know that this is how she died.
So I've been told.
And it's kind of unusual because she didn't... I mean, the tree mind controls people, but it couldn't mind control her because she's a normal human, and it doesn't work on normal humans. When she went into the tree, she did that of her own accord. And she did it to save everyone else, and it worked. And we probably wouldn't be here now if it wasn't for her. So I'm really glad you decided to come along on this. And we're all counting on you. Um, we don't expect you to do the same thing she did, but we know that it probably can't hurt you unless you let it. So we're all gonna really depend on you because the rest of us are all gonna be subject to its, the whammy. Except for you.
Understood. Yeah, I will endeavor to end up protecting you from the whammy.
Good.
I would like to let you know, though, Bright, I do have the ability to counter charms.
I was just about to say that. And, I mean, when we faced the trees before, we weren't prepared. Hopefully this time we'll be better prepared. And we're all... Yeah, we're gonna want you to do that for us, too.
Can do that.
Well, I might have an action for that, says Celine. Maybe, well, there are certain blessings that the Lady of Death will end up giving us. I have no doubt we will press forward, and we will in fact honor your sister's memory here, Jacob. I appreciate that very much, Celine. Though your magic still weird me the fuck out, if you pardon my language. Yes, I know, I've heard it all before, Jacob. We don't need to be prattling on about it. I'm just saying it's fucking freaky at this point. But nevertheless, it is useful, especially in this endeavor to avenge your sister. That's the only reason I'm putting up with you, bitch. Oops, did I say that out loud?
Jacob. That's not how you talk to a lady.
And yet, she is no lady. She is a priestess of a death god.
I mean, a respected death god, though.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Mordecai.
Not one of those cheap death gods.
Certainly not.
Okay, so I hope you've all got. I hope we've all come equipped. And actually, I have pretty good spells for this, as it turns out. So hey, maybe it'll all work out. It's totally not going to end up with all of us dying.
I mean, better to be prepared.
That's right.
Little
Okay.
mutant piece of work.
Remember, like Bright said, none of us can die. So, otherwise, we Jazz might be having to visit us a little sooner than expected. I really wouldn't want that to happen.
I mean,
No offense, Mordecai.
just
not entirely.
the sheer amount of paperwork, it would just be overwhelming. So let's all not die, and if we don't all die, then that's better for everyone. So yeah, let's go see what happens with this tree.
Sounds like a good plan to me.
Let's do it. Yes, let's move on.
Casimir, with Bright's instruction, which is really good. She's actually really good at like telling you what to look for, and it's been super helpful. And the forest is your territory. Go ahead and you can roll a survival, as if this is one of your favorite enemies.
I was gonna say, is flesh tree considered fake?
No, but I'll say as if.
Yeah, so we get the survival check. Advantage.
Okay. Following the instructions and the guide of what to look for, Casimir, after not too much more trudging through snow and otherworldly cold, it begins to warm. It begins to get humid, even. And in a grove ahead of you, through the trees,
That's when I start playing my counter charm.
all right. You see, the trees around, the one made of flesh, have faces that seem to very slowly say things without saying things. But in the middle of them all is a tree made of flesh. A tree that has the faces of gnomes. Unmistakably, all gnomes. Slowly coursing down over it like a waterfall. And, disturbingly enough, looking almost like cracks in the faces and areas that fill in between where you see the gnomes' faces pressed is a wet, slick, black hair. And the hair moves slowly, lifting from the tree and begins a kind of a tenderly dance. Now, Bright, fortunately for you, because you are so intelligent, and you've fought these, and you've defeated them, you found a way to overcome their ability to just negate magic. And
It's convenient.
you have shared this with those who are hunting this tree with you. Of course, they're grateful. Who wants to be a part of this flesh tree? Or to go on a hunt without the ability to affect the prey? Emboldened with knowledge, magic, and some experience at your lead, we go to you.
What's the anti-magic procedure?
It is simply an item that you all are holding on to. It's some kind of a gem.
Crystal skull. Oh,
cut.
okay.
Well, it's a crystal. I mean, if you want to tell them what it's from, but each of them certainly have a crystalline object of some kind, probably been cut, polished, modified, if you desire. But you have equipped each of them with a crystalline object that seems to overcome the resistance to magic that this flesh tree has.
Okay, so you might as well cast your own defensive buffs. The tree isn't really so much about like hitting you. It's more about like mind controlling you. So, running out of, just getting hurt and knocked down and killed isn't the biggest threat here, but you got to be on your guard. So, I cast Mage Armor, and I'm probably going to go ahead and cast Mirror Image too.
Okay.
So, that'll be nice.
I'm gonna go ahead and cast Heroism. And there's 5 of us, so I'm gonna target 5 people with a 5th level spell slot.
Well, that's convenient.
Sorry, wrong character. Celine will end up casting Aid with a 4th level spell slot. After all, the blessing of Ouija's protects life as well as guides the dead. Everything in its time. Jacob just gets his shield ready. He's just ready to hammer something and seems more aggravated on the idea of this tree being, well, the thing responsible for Jade's demise. Vengeance will be his.
So, so all that black hair, that's new.
Mhm.
And so the black hair, that's kind of an interesting development, because the black hair comes out kind of wherever Jade has been, and it also kind of comes out where Shona Ruth has been. And we know that. So it's kind of weird because Shona Ruth is generally a source of problems, but Jade was always good. So, you know, we can't really jump to conclusions by seeing the hair. So I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can detect any like patterns in the waving of the hair, if it looks what it looks like.
Sure. You're beginning to examine the little wobbles and the frequencies inside the hair.
Real quick.
Oh. Yes. Excellent. Excellent.
Didn't understand it, so maybe you'll post that and I can understand it later. Okay, good.
And as you do, the hairs go rigid for a moment, and a wave emits from the tree, blowing outwards, and all of you take 20 force damage.
Okay, so that's new. That's new. Did it kind of feel like being bitten by a land shark?
Actually, you guys would only be all of us would only be taking 17 because of my charisma modifier on heroism.
Ooh, I'll take that.
This feels like you belly flopped into a body of water, except you didn't actually do it.
So, I looked funny at the hair and it exploded, so that's definitely new.
And I need you to roll initiative.
Yeah, sure, why not? Oh no, 21.
Ooh. Well, between Jacob and Bright, who would like to go first?
Actually, that would be Celine and Bright, and...
Oh, I'm sorry, was that...
unfortunately, it passed based on my... Yeah.
Should probably let Celine go first, and then me.
I think Bright should go first.
Okay,
Bright has a
that's
better
fine.
idea of what
Okay,
she's
so
done.
Celine's on a
That's fine,
21,
too.
then Bright's on a 21.
I just didn't want you to have 2 turns in a row.
Jacob's a 7. Mordecai's
I
a
guess
23.
it's not gonna matter.
And Casimir's a 14. Okay. So we are gonna go Mordecai and then Bright. No, Celine. And then Bright.
Oh, I think Derek said I should go first, so
Oh, okay.
I think we'll do it that way.
Sure. Bright, then Celine. Then Casimir.
Mhm.
And then Jacob. And then I get to do something, whatever that is. So...
I need to make a concentration check, actually.
to hold your heroism. Yep.
Yep.
All right. Mordecai, that wave of force bashes over you, but you clench up, and you are there.
Solid. Yep.
All right, then. So then it's going to be Mordecai, Bright, Celine. This thing is, I'll say it's about 50 feet away from you. As you enter the grove, there's no snow. It is kind of muddy, and it's hot, but it's not like damaging hot.
So it's my turn first.
Yes, there is kind of a tingle to you, Mordecai. Your vampiric nature is twitching.
Well, the fact that I cast heroism dropped the counter charm for a moment, and I'm not sure that I should continue it for now because everyone's hurt. So I'm gonna cast Mass Cure Wounds
Okay.
for 15 hit points on everyone.
All right. Faces continue to ripple and pour across the surface of the tree. Mordecai takes a turn to heal the others. Bright, what are you doing?
So, do I have any past experiences? Is there anything in particular that these flesh trees have been found to be vulnerable to?
They're vulnerable to not having their magic immunity.
Okay. So they have a weakness to point blank annihilation then.
Yes, once you can annihilate them, they are weak to being annihilated.
Okay. Well, let's do that then. I'll go ahead and start off with a nice ordinary level 4 fireball. Targeted on the tree.
Okay. All right. The tree doesn't dodge out of the way. It's a tree. So you hit it for 31 fire.
33.
33.
33. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
No, that was actually really easy. So let's just, let's keep an eye out for that hair. But otherwise, we can chop up this tree. I mean, not like literally. Okay, that's all.
Are you sure I have X?
I mean, I don't want you to get too close to it, cause elf, you know.
No, fine.
Now we're to Celine.
Of course, darling. But that being said, Fluffy, just because it's been a long time since I've played a cleric, any particular thoughts on what spells I should end up using at this point?
Not really. Because I kind of intentionally have not paid attention to the cleric spell list. Guiding bolt is good. Spiritual
bolt?
weapon is good. Flame strike is good. Yeah, those are all good.
Okay. So you think guiding bolt?
Oh, I think spiritual weapon probably actually is the best.
Spiritual
Because
weapon?
you can keep it out and then do other stuff.
All right. Then we will end up casting spiritual weapon. Now, if I recall, that is a bonus action.
Yep.
And
So
concentration.
you can use whatever cantrip you have. Toll the Dead, probably.
Okay. So, and let's do Toll the Dead.
All right. Will save. Is that's an all or nothing then?
I believe so.
Cantrips are all or nothing.
Yeah. Okay. Resides through the grove, but the tree resists. Anything else?
Hey, and I know we've talked about the little crystal bits that everybody has, but you want to be careful because they can sometimes make your magic go a little wobble. Just so you know.
Casimir, Jacob, me.
Okay. Need to be distant.
You're 50 feet away from the tree. You have to trudge through some mud, but it's not difficult terrain.
I am going to cast Zephyr Strike. I'm going to keep my distance and use my bow. So, first attack, which is advantage. Second attack,
Both hit.
and then
The hair tries to catch your arrows, but it misses doing so. And you expertly plug 2 arrows into 2 different gnome faces.
Flare and duelist, 13 extra damage.
Okay. Jacob, me, then back up to Mordecai.
Get rid of that far. That was range, not melee.
Okay.
Jacob will end up approaching it to end up hurling at this with his warhammer at full tilt.
All right. Bash some gnome faces.
Bashing some gnome faces, apparently.
That's all that covers this tree. Hit, hit, hit. Oof.
Kinda wince when I see him hit the gnome faces.
It's like playing a horrible game of morbid whack-a-mole.
Whack-a-gnome.
Whack-a-gnome.
Just don't play whack-a-gnome.
As you come up and just 3 faces crumple as Jacob, you come in, bash, 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 and just caved in faces, ruined eye sockets, and just they just continue to, like, they look even sadder and more drippy as fluid starts pouring out of the ruined outer surface of this flesh tree. Jacob, as you are all up onto this tree, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw, please.
Well done. And I believe I also get a bonus on top of that. But I am actually going to spend for Indomitable for the reroll.
Let's see if you get it.
Oh.
Okay. Some of these hairs they're touching your face, and you feel like someone else wants to take over, and you fight. Someone else wants inside, or something.
I will end up fighting. I need to avenge my sister. I need to end up making this go forward. I need to make sure everybody keeps away from this horrible monstrosity.
Alright. The hairs quiver once again, and once more a wave of force, rippled by the hairs, blasts forward, and all of you take 25 force damage from this.
That reduced?
If it's been your turn up until now, then it's -3.
This is the bottom of turn 1.
Yeah.
Then everybody should have had the 10 hit points for this round, yeah.
And there's just a maddening scream that rides just behind this wave of force. Now we come up to Mordecai, then Bright, then Celine. Mordecai, what do you do? The second wave was more intense than the first.
Yeah, it was. Everybody's getting hurt. I'm gonna cast Mass Cure Wounds at 6th level.
Okay?
Which is an extra D8 on that.
1 extra. Anything else from you, Mordecai, or are we going to Bright?
I am gonna play a little song and inspire Bright.
Okay.
Oh, that's so nice of you. Okay, so
Bright, you
I'm
feel
pretty
really good
unhappy
about
with
that.
this tree right now. Yeah, I'm really kind of unhappy with this tree. So, do I have any, like, have I experienced, like, these shockwaves from other trees before? Is this new?
This is new. But here, perhaps the trees are getting desperate, as they were mostly the same in the beginning, though they've been changing and adapting as you've been hunting and uprooting these last maybe 6 or so.
Yeah, the things that like to assimilate you are also usually good at adapting.
Yeah.
So, let's go ahead and amp up that firepower a little bit with another big honking fireball. This is gonna be a level 6.
Oof. It's a tree and will not dodge out of the way, so it'll take 27.
39.
Oh, derp. I'm sorry, the higher level cast. Yeah, 39. Ooh. Okay.
Average damage, but better than a poke in the eye. I mean, not for the tree. Probably worse than a poke in the eye for the tree. So, guys, I think the hair is the key, but I think we should focus down the tree first, just to make sure that we complete the mission, and then we can figure out what to do about the hair. Okay, that's all.
Roasted, crackling faces continue to pour. Ooze and whatever liquid sap or blood runs through this thing is pouring out of this grievously injured tree. We now go to Celine, Casimir, Jacob. We'll see how far we get.
Well, I have to admit, if we are taking out this tree as quickly as possible, then, and we need to focus our efforts upon it, then clearly there's only one option to do. Cast harm.
Okay. I will take 14d6 necrotic damage.
14d6. Oh, not a good roll on my part.
Okay.
It's so many ones.
Derek
Yep.
dice.
Derek dice.
Even on Celine. Okay. Anything else, Celine?
Yes, because I believe that scythe that is currently here wielding about is still going, which
Yes.
would end up saying that... Where are you? Sorry, it's been all over the place. Where are you? Ah, there we go.
It
And
bounces. It
I
bounces.
believe I also got 8 on that.
Roll aid then. It doesn't bounce back, but it's a scythe. It seems to get stuck in between two faces that are starting to rip apart. This is very gruesome, Bright. But there's a little bit of spiritual energy put behind it, and the scythe just cuts across 4 gnome heads as they're just... And it just peels open before slowly starting to knit back together. But it's ruined. And the faces the ones that are touched by this are all just... They're not making sounds, but they're opening their mouths as if they're screaming in horror or pain.
Yeah,
They'll be released soon enough.
had to get used to that.
Casimir,
Okay.
this thing is not looking good. What do you want to do?
I'm going to keep shooting.
All right, pew pew.
Pew pew pew. I can reach my darn charts.
I mean, this is looking like a limb that's just had its skin ripped off. I don't know if you'd know what that looks like, Casimir.
First one has advantage.
Okay, that hits, and the second one's going to hit also.
And then... 2d8.
All right, what's your final damage total then?
28.
Okay.
Do I have a bonus action?
Anything else? This thing is...
No.
The shafts have sunk into the flesh, and as it continues to drip down, it's leaving like tears from where the arrow embedded itself to. Jacob, this thing is... it's not making noise. It's screaming. All the faces are screaming. And the tendrils are still wiggling between them and around them. But this is a ruined tree. If hopefully you can
Oh, that's not unsettling at all.
do something before I get to caress you and then blow you all up with force damage.
I think I'm going to have to end up swinging for the fences.
You should swing for the tree.
Swinging for the tree it is.
And so yeah, you say that, Bright. You're like, you should swing for the tree. Jacob, swing for the tree. Hit. And you just are, now faces are just like being ripped off from the bludgeoning damage because they're already sliced, and it's terrible. Wet, juicy noises as skin rends. You don't need to worry about that. Well, unless you want to. You can.
I am it was destroy the tree. I am going to keep swinging until the deed is done.
Very good. Destroy the tree. Well, fortunately, because the tree is down as much as a tree can be, instead of a 1, you actually get that 28. 27 and a 26. So all 3 are going to end up dealing damage. And in all honesty, because it's down, these are all going to be crits as well. So if you're using action surge, you're swinging 3 more times. They're all connecting. They're all critical hits. Bright. Jacob is absolutely bringing that tree down like you wanted him to, as it just sort of like peels like a banana, and he's just gore is like splattering. The hair, it has all started to go limp, and this thing is now just a split ruin.
That's what we have to do. It's the only choice. It's not very pleasant, but we're saving more people by doing it.
Well, it's what we Jazz would have wanted anyway. Well, at least my sister's avenged.
Yeah, I mean, we'll find out. We'll see what happens with the hair.
What about the hair?
We'll see. I mean, it's always connected to your sister. Whenever we see the hair, it's connected to your sister.
Jacob gets pretty much down on all fours as close as he can. He's observing it with a keen eye.
It seems to be dissolving. I mean, maybe soaking into the mud, but it seems to be discorporating, as the blood and the flesh can no longer hold itself together, and it's just, you're in gnome country, it's blurping into a pile.
Ugh. It is blorping. It is fucking blorping.
Oh. Oh. Don't count your hair before it's braided, because sometimes it's come back.
Don't count your hair until it's braided. Understood.
What an odd piece
Okay.
of advice.
Yeah,
Okay.
gnomes have a lot of weird sayings. So,
I thought it was gnomish.
so the tree is down.
Yes. It is discorporating, as they are wont to do.
So, I assume this is not the first time I've seen this happen.
Correct. They seemingly just exit reality slowly, as if they just aren't a part of it normally, but here they are.
That's normal. What happens to the faces when this happens?
The faces all begin to, instead of very slowly making words or not even really sounds, they just stop. And you have a tree that has a face in it.
Just a face?
They do not appear to be animated. Even a magical scan will show that it's just a creepy looking tree now.
Okay.
So,
Celine, did you... I mean, I still don't understand how you do the things you do, but do you have any sense of... Did we release the souls? Are they better off now?
How would Celine... I'm assuming that would be a knowledge religion check, but I'm free to accept any other ways she might do this. Looking over, I don't see any, Ooh, actually, Are any of the faces still intact, or are we seeing bones or anything like that? Anything that would constitute a technical corpse?
No. The tree, so much as it was fleshy, is really no longer there. Though it does seem to have left a blight on the land by having these faces that are in the surrounding normal trees.
Well, the truth of the matter is, Bright, that is in the department of Wee Jazz herself. The truth is that I think that, well, they'll have a chance to rest right now. And that's the only thing that's really important here. I mean, ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
So, I wanna. So, it's a little strange.
Oh,
Yeah, I want to look at one of the other faces and see what it's like. Are the other faces gnomish faces too?
All but one, and the other one might be elven. Human elven.
Yeah, well, probably elven. I mean, unless it's somebody I recognize.
It's no one you recognize. No.
Okay. So,
But these are your people. You are an Uct, as unnatural as the weather and such is. So they could have been a friend. I don't know if this is like gnomish philosophy, but everyone could have been a friend at some point. So they're all could have friends, but none are now friends.
yeah.
is there something you're looking for, Bright?
Well, it's weird because it's almost never anyone I recognize. And I mean, this is so close to home, and I'm always afraid that I'm going to see someone that I know. And I mean, in some cases, like with your sister, I'm almost hoping to see her, but then there are other people that I'd be really sad to see. So, but it's just a matter of, I don't know, it just seems like I should see people I know more often because there aren't really that many gnomes. And there's so many faces in these trees. I wonder if the trees have been here for thousands and thousands of years, and that's why it's people I don't know.
You'd know better than any of us.
Jacob sifts through the remains, seeing if he can get a general age on how long they've been around, though I imagine it's quite difficult.
Yeah, you can. While the heat is the jungle heat is quickly returning, now that it's no longer artificially being kept cold by this presence. It's easy to find sloshy footprints in an otherwise pristine snow while you still have it. So there's at least an exit out.
I found an exit.
You are hearing a lot of slosh, though, as the natural southern heat and humidity of Uct is now, like, roiling in. And so it's creating very quickly an intense fog as the warm air is pouring into this cold environment. You can see the footprints that are in front of you, but after a while here, there's going to be enough heat and humidity combating the melting snow that it's going to be difficult.
Oh, don't worry, I think I can track these. Even
And
with fog.
does anybody have an ability to modify the weather?
No.
Create some wind? It's a spell I've always meant to learn, but it never quite happens.
I'm not sure. I could try. How would you like it to be applied, I guess, is the big question.
Well, I just don't want us to get sucked in by fog. Being able to clear a path. But I guess the thing to do is to head out follow Casimir and let him lead us back.
Casimir?
That I can do.
All right.
This is forest, and I enjoy the forest.
Very agreeable Casimir who enjoys the forest is up for the job.
We can not get lost as long as it's not magic.
There is some... It's natural. It's magical natural. So you're certainly doing your best. You might get turned around. We'll see. As you follow your instincts at the direction of Bright, who wants to go back, and you turn around. The fog is rolling in. Mordecai, your senses are certainly going to come in handy. While Casimir is kind of sniffing a route back through the snow and the mud, and as things are getting warmer, the fog is getting thicker. Your ears, for certain, are going to come in handy because visibility is almost zero. However, you can hear slosh, slosh, as water is or ice, the snow is turning into slush. It's falling out of the trees and is landing in the snow and the mud.
Snow's falling off the trees.
It is getting warmer. And in fact, in the distance, you even hear a crack-a-boom of thunder.
Looks like a storm's coming. I can hear it.
Yeah. Well, it's not rare to get a rainstorm, you know. I mean, it's more unusual to get a snowstorm. That's for sure. And I mean, the jungles do get a little sloppy. You know, you'll get muddy but I mean, we manage.
All right.
Casimir, your instinct is telling you that with the natural humidity and storms in this in the jungle of Uct, the fact that we've just had now a massive increase in humidity and in the winds and the temperature, this storm has a chance of becoming super intense.
So got to be careful. Probably find shelter soon.
Yeah. Mordecai, do you have the little hut?
I can
We
always
might
do
need
that.
it.
You want me to pop it up now?
You're not too
Let's not do it too
in
soon.
context. Yeah, you're not that you're. The storm could still hit you before you return to the village, but you went out to your home village. But this tree was found close to the village, and so you went out to obviously stave it off. You might make it back while it's raining, or before it gets super terrible if you hurry and you don't get lost.
Yeah, I mean, let's just hurry.
All right.
And if we need it, we'll have it.
Okay.
Well, I guess we're going to have to double time it. Yes. Let's go. Try and keep up, will you? Coming from a skeletal figure like you, that is unusual.
All right, and 1 second here as you begin to trudge ever onwards. There's a wind and a rain. It's super weird hearing thunder and even catching flashes of lightning in the thick fog as patches are just lit up around you. And there are some ice chunks that are now, because water is collecting in the frozen boughs, is freezing and it's too heavy. And the trees are starting to collapse around you. Bright, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw as a branch comes hurtling down, weighted by slush and ice.
Oh, no, I totally saw that coming. I'm going to take a 16.
Okay. Very good. You leap out of the way, and the rest of the other four of you see that a big ice slush ball with a stick in the middle of it almost fell and hit Bright.
Wow, that
So-
one.
Dodgy.
Yeah,
Be more careful.
yeah, I would prefer not to have one of those fall on me. So Mordecai, maybe it's time for the. How close are we to the village?
You're maybe a half hour if you keep trudging. Fortunately, between Casimir's tracking in the forest and Mordecai's very keen senses, you're making good progress. It's just getting hazardous.
I think the thing to do. Boy, what do you guys think? Do you think we should press on, or do you think we should no, not?
Well, this
Celine,
is-
real quick, as you stop to think about Bright, about, I need you to make a dexterity save at disadvantage, as a limb is going to fall on you, but you're not paying attention because you're contemplating.
Oh, I'm sure Jazz will protect me. Or Derek Dice will kick in, one way or the other.
All right, this big, heavy mass of slush and ice that also has a pointed branch falls and both crushes and pierces. Celine. And so, Celine, you're going to take 22 points of bludgeoning and piercing damage.
Okay, so that's totally unacceptable. Celine, are you okay?
You know, I can really go through that again if I had to,
Okay,
but I would
she's
rather
fine.
not.
Mordecai, go ahead and put up the hut. I think we need that hut real soon now.
Okay. Then I am going to spend the 10 minutes. Should I pop it up right away?
As soon as we can, yeah.
Okay. Then I'm going to spend a spell slot to cast Tiny Hut, which still takes a minute.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and use Wall of Force to protect Mordecai while he creates. And we can all stand under this Wall of Force as well. It'll keep us safer.
Very
You
well
can
then.
stand under your umbrella.
Ella?
Well, that sounds like a good idea.
Ella?
I have this
Hey.
umbrella.
Hey. All right, so the Wall of Force, concentration up to 10 minutes, and the tiny hut is going to take about that time. And so,
No,
Bright...
it's just 1 minute.
Oh, it's
I'm
one
spending a spell
Oh,
slot.
gotcha. All right.
and a spell slot.
All right. So you're taking the minute. You're underneath the Wall of Force, and several other slush bombs fall. But fortunately, everyone, due to Bright's Wall of Force, while Mordecai is casting here, you're not crushed under the weight. And the hut goes up after a minute.
Okay.
Okay, it's ready, Bright.
Yeah, okay, let's all get in.
Mordecai goes in.
Mordecai goes in.
The rest
Mordecai
of-
is in.
Yeah,
Cast
yeah,
around.
Mordecai is in. Okay.
I mean,
Casimir goes in.
yeah, we'll all be in.
Casimir, you go to enter the hut and you bounce off of it.
Mordecai. Let in. I knock on it.
Oh, I thought I included you. Maybe I didn't.
Hey,
Try it again.
I'm keeping the Wall of Force up.
Okay.
We have 9 minutes left on the Wall of Force.
I tried to put my hand in.
It doesn't seem to work. You end up just
Mordecai,
kinda...
is this about last night?
Well, what did I do? What did you do last night?
Nothing.
Is it just Casimir that's outside, or is it the rest of us?
Is anyone investigating? Investigator Jacob Stillwaters?
Should I? This is unusual.
Yeah, it's a pretty simple question. Is Casimir the only one who got repelled by the hut?
Well, find out.
Jacob, the answer to that is you're repelled by the hut.
It would appear to be a yes.
I don't understand. Mordecai, is that what?
Well, you
What?
said pop up the hut with you.
I meant with everybody, not just me. Okay,
Ha.
well let's do it again. I know you've got more spell slots, right?
Yes, I can do it again.
Okay.
I'll include everybody.
Okay. All right. Well, all huddle
Sorry.
around.
Sorry, I didn't.
Yeah. Everybody huddle around. I thought it would be obvious. You guys are usually pretty smart. But you know that tree was kind of weird. So everybody huddle close, all next to Mordecai, and let him cast Tiny Hut again. And I'll keep the Wall of Force.
Oh, I can
Yeah.
huddle close to Mordecai, no problem.
Celine
Yeah.
ends up wrapping her arms around Mordecai, and Jericho does so as well, putting his head right between theirs, huddling in.
Okay. I mean, make sure to leave him just enough space to cast the spell.
Yeah, I kind of need to play.
But don't go outside. Don't go outside. How far from him? Don't go more than 10 feet away from him. But don't go less than 1 foot away from him. Stay within that 9-foot torus.
Well, we have to leave room for Ouija's, forgot.
Yeah,
Of course.
sure.
No.
Okay, so they are all in on Mordecai, and then they're off of Mordecai, but then they come back close to Mordecai.
Yeah,
Okay.
just the right distance. Okay.
All right. Mordecai,
This
you are...
is game they play in Shadahar. It's called the Hokey Pokey.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay, I turn around.
Kaz-
See, that's what it's about.
That's the one where you turn yourself inside out, right?
No, I only do that to Celine.
Casimir, from as Mordecai is distracted casting a spell right now, I need you to make a perception. As you're tied to the land here.
Oh.
That's still good. You can do this at advantage. This is like your
Sweet.
territory, and also, I mean, this is your responsibility, right? You're the woodsman. That's why you're here. And so with a nice green 26, there is the sound of a great rush of water crashing through trees. A closer distance than what you would prefer, I presume, to be. So there must have been some kind of a melt or a mudslide, and it is coming quickly.
Ah, Waterlanche.
Waterlanche?
Yes, it's like avalanche but water.
Getting closer.
Okay.
It will be here very soon.
Getting
What
closer.
direction is it coming from?
That away.
Okay, so looks like it's time for me to rearrange the wall of force. I'm gonna go ahead and make it. I can make a. I have 10 panels, so we're gonna get. It's basically going to be a cube, except the cube is going to be. Well, it's basically going to be a cube, honestly. With all of us enclosed, and then the tiny hut in the middle.
Okay. So you are going to how many does that take actions or?
Yeah, it's a spell casting action. I have to cast the spell again. I can't move it.
Okay. All right. So you're gonna have to cast Wall of Force again in order to pop a cube around you all.
Action to cast it, but it just costs me another spell slot.
Okay. The Wall of Force. Okay. You quickly rearrange, and the cubes, or you create this area around everyone, and the water just comes surging over and past. The cube itself magically kind of gives a vibration rumble, but it's not being budged. This is just a mundane water lanch, and it's passing, and trees are coming with it, and mud. And it is now, it's gone from an initial rush of water, and you're just getting trees are just hitting against the force, and bouncing off and splintering and breaking, and then the mud and the slush is now behind it, and Bright, you're slowly being covered in just tons of mud and twigs and stones that came down with this water lanch.
Yeah, that's gonna happen. That's okay. So I'm gonna start using Mold Earth, the most useful spell that's ever been made, to kind of like a big windshield wiper, just shoving mud off of the.
Can you cast outside your force?
It's 30-foot range.
Well, right, but does the wall of force allow you to cast through it?
It's a good question. I don't know. I think Wall of Force only blocks physical things. I don't think it blocks spells. I'm pretty sure it only. I mean, thing can physically pass through the wall. It doesn't say anything about blocking magic. It only blocks like things that physically would try to move through it.
All right. So you're doing this, and Mordecai, you're you're kind of like plorping the mud away, but I mean it is surrounding, and it just keeps flowing around, and I mean there's a point where it's even on top of your cube, and I mean you can kind of push it. Might create like a weird suction bubble, and then it just comes back down.
So.
And you all are now entombed inside of Bright's spell.
Still casting the tiny head.
Yep, you are.
Been a minute yet.
Yeah. So this is definitely an unusual result. I've never experienced this kind of mudslide before, especially on flat terrain. That's really strange. But we'll be fine, especially with the tiny hut, which I'm sure will be ready any minute now.
Any is this, and sure enough, the tiny hut pops.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and stay outside the tiny hut for as long as my wall of force is working.
Okay.
And keep trying to use mold earth to just kind of dig through it.
Okay. You can make dents into it, but displacing it is what's going to be the problem, because it doesn't evaporate the mud. It has to go somewhere.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's a thing. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and go inside. I mean, I assume the wall of force is almost over.
Correct.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and go inside the tiny hut.
Okay.
So.
And the mud is now surrounding the tiny hut.
Yeah. So, guys, do all of you feel okay?
Yeah, I can see well in dark.
I'm alright.
Please, Bright, I'm always okay. I'll end up here doing this after all. Well, I have to admit, almost being buried alive is a little unnerving, but outside of that, I would suppose that we're all fairly good.
Yeah. So. I like those pictures. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and cast So do all of you feel okay? Because I think you were all acting a little weird.
How so?
Oh, you seem to be taking my suggestions a little bit excessively literally, and I'm wondering if maybe the battle against the tree has gotten you guys a little addled.
Well, we are in charge of this mission. It's only natural we take order.
Sure. But it seems like you're going a little overboard with it, and I just wanted to find out if any of you, feel a little off.
No, I feel fine.
I think I feel fine. Pretty sure I feel fine.
Fine.
Okay.
Maybe a
But
little earringy, but that's normal.
But you tell me if you didn't, right?
Yes, of
Of
course.
course.
But would you tell me if you wouldn't tell me if you didn't?
Yes.
I wouldn't lie to you, right?
Okay, that's good. So here we are. I think I'm gonna go ahead and send a sending to. I don't actually know who I'm sending it to, but presumably somebody sent us on this mission.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell them that we got stuck in a big mudslide, and it would be real nice if they would come and dig us out.
Okay. There's some gnomish scouts that found it in the forest outside your hometown.
Yeah, so I would send it to them. One of them.
Which, by the way, I mean, with you addressing all the flesh trees, you have been accepted back. You have nothing to be embarrassed about. Like, everyone in town is... You don't need to feel awkward anymore, Bright.
I still feel awkward, though.
Alright. So, well, all of you, Bright told you that she sent a message out, so I guess all you have to do is wait.
Sounds like plan.
I need Jacob, Celine, and Casimir to make Constitution saves.
Oh no.
Okay. Which one was the first one, Derek?
First one would be Celine. The second one would be Jacob.
Okay. Celine's getting really sleepy. She passes out.
Well, that's unusual. Bright. Celine fell
In some
asleep.
stormy weather does lead to sleepiness.
So there's a reviewing. I'm having one of my moments, where I have information from outside the space-time continuum, and it turns out that the tiny hut works slightly differently than I would expect it to. Okay, so that's kind of interesting. So I am going to have to do something interesting here. Let's double check this. Why isn't it here? Why isn't it here? Sorry, everyone. This was not what I was expecting to be casting right here. So it occurs to me that apparently, I didn't know this, but apparently the tiny hut doesn't include an air supply, which is kind of unusual. But that seems to be the case.
Jacob, you're definitely it's a little... You're not feeling sleepy, you're just feeling a little lethargic.
Bright.
Hi.
I'm feeling really just tired right now.
Yeah, so you should probably not go to sleep. It turns out that's really bad in a case like this.
Celine's already asleep, though.
Should
Yeah.
we
Don't
wake her
go
up?
to sleep. Okay.
I mean, no, there's no need to wake her up. Let's just not all go to sleep, though. That would be kind of iffy. So, I think the thing for me to do right now is, I'm really sorry about this. I didn't plan on this. Let me just don't go to sleep just yet. Don't go to sleep just yet.
Mordecai, you're
Well, not
fine, by
go
the
to
way.
sleep.
I don't sleep, right?
Yeah, I know, and,
Yeah,
and you
you
don't
also don't
breathe
need air.
either, which is probably the more interesting. So, So I'm out of ideas. I mean, I'm not completely out of ideas, but I'm kind of out of ideas.
What are the ideas?
So, well, I sent for help, but my guess is they're probably not coming. That would be unfortunate, but they're probably not going to find us, or something's going to go wrong, because I don't know. I'm looking for someone that I might be able to summon that might be able to like have earth moving abilities, but I'm not finding one. So,
Oh,
does any...
I could probably summon something, or a few somethings.
I could summon Jasper, but I don't know that he'd fit in the hut.
Yeah, he wouldn't, and we need something that doesn't need to breathe, something that can, that can dig through a whole lot of mud in a big hurry.
I can summon many moles.
Can you summon moles? Really?
Many
That's perfect. That's just what we need.
I'm going to cast conjure animals. So it'll pop up. There we go.
Moles. That's just what we wanted.
As many moles as possible. This is
Okay.
level 3, so 8 apiece.
Okay.
8
However,
moles.
they can't get out
Can't they get out?
because all creatures are barred from passing through it.
And
I
Casimir,
could summon them outside.
there's no outside. Casimir, you summon moles. I mean, that seemed like a good idea. You summon moles, and what? That's probably... Moles are like... So that's 8 of CR 1/4 or lower. And so you upcast it. Twice as many with a... So you used a 5th level? Or wait.
No, I used 3rd. So just 8.
Oh, I don't see the okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Just 8.
3
So...
is right under the...
Okay. So 8 moles appear inside the hut. They're really nice moles, Casimir. You should be proud. You should show them off to Bright.
Can they not leave?
Mm-mm.
Possibly not.
Even if they're summoned inside?
It's because they have to be here when the hut is created. It turns out.
Weird.
Casimir and Jacob, I need a Constitution saving throw as some time is passing. There's now 8 moles in here as well.
Here's the thing with the tiny hut, is that it doesn't have a solid floor.
Mm.
It's just a dome, not a sphere. So they could dig out through the bottom and then just like go
Oh,
around.
yeah.
If you...
What save was it? Con?
Yeah.
Oh.
Casimir and Jacob both fall unconscious.
Oh, there go the moles.
There go the moles. Okay, so,
They
Yeah,
dig
so-
a little bit and then disappear.
yeah. So that was an unfortunately timed crit fail.
And Mordecai, it's just you and Bright.
No more.
You don't need air, Mordecai. Unfortunately, Bright only needs little lungfuls, so she's doing fine right now.
Turns out that gnomes actually require very little oxygen. So, Mordecai, do you have any ideas?
I don't. You said something about summons. I could summon Jasper, but that's...
But he can't dig.
He can't fit
He
either.
can't dig. Yeah, so that's 2 reasons why he's bad. Okay, so I'm gonna need to review. Just 1 second. Don't know if this guy. This is my last idea for at least for a summon. Oh, come on, stupid monster manual. Is oh, he's no good. All right. So most of my but that's not in a book we have.
Real quick.
Okay, I'm out of ideas then.
Well, you can sit and wait then. hopefully the rescuers will find you.
Yeah, so did I get a response from them? What did they say back?
Yeah, we'll be on our way.
Okay.
Okay.
So here's the thing. There's a lot of mud outside.
That's true.
So how are
Jacob's
you
up.
doing?
Jacob's eyes are still open, looking directly towards
Yep.
Bright.
Of course, he passes out with his eyes open too.
I'm okay. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, I seem to be okay for now.
That's good.
There's some various problems that we have, which is that there's not actually a lot of air.
I need a death saving throw from Casimir, Jacob, and Celine.
Yeah. Mordecai, do you know what you have to do to save them?
Casimir,
I can.
like, makes some choking sounds, like snoring and gagging at the same time. So unless Casimir has undiagnosed sleep apnea, Casimir is, like, choking on his own sleep and is barely
Casimir
hanging in
doesn't
there.
sleep normally. He trances. This is unnatural.
I don't have anything to help with that.
Save them.
I could cast Cure Wounds.
You can save them. Mordecai.
Yeah.
Make them like you.
Oh, that's an idea. Okay, I don't know how that works.
You don't know how to do it? I mean,
I could bite them. That's really what I could do.
so here's the thing. Might eat me. And that would be unfortunate. I'd be really disappointed if that happened.
Right. We won't do that then.
Yeah. So I think that the thing to do is go ahead and bite. I don't know. I mean, are you willing to take on that responsibility?
What kind of responsibility?
Making them like you. So that they don't die here in this really rather unfortunate and somewhat unnatural tomb of mud.
If you want me to, I will.
I mean, you're the one that has to take the responsibility for it. You're the one that would have to do it.
Do you want me to?
I want them to die.
Okay. Then they won't. They won't die. Well, they will die, but they won't die.
Yeah.
It's a gnome thing, right?
I mean, that does sound like the sort of thing that we would say.
I need another set of death saving throws during this conversation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Casimir, can you roll better, please?
No.
Oh, do I save first though? They all kind of passed out at once.
Oh, well, Casimir's the one with the sleep apnea, so maybe him.
Okay.
I'm the one with 3 fails.
Yep. Casimir just...
Oh
Yeah.
no. Oh no. Oh no no no.
So
no.
looks like
And Bright, I need a con save from you, as the air is getting thin even for you.
okay. I can do that.
I was too slow.
16.
Okay.
All right.
I'm gonna go. I'll do Celine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So I go and bite Celine.
Okay. Casimir, you're dead.
Sorry,
You-
Casimir. We tried.
You
Well,
go
let me roll up new character.
and bite Celine.
You can roll
Mordecai,
up a
this
new
is
character for the next like 5 minutes.
that's some good blood. You've had Celine's blood before. I need you to make a con save because that's kind of what you have to do normally. Because that's sweet, sweet blood, especially after a tough combat.
Is that after at advantage?
Yeah, normally as you would. That's fine.
And we kind of want you to give in this time, so...
Mordecai goes over to Celine, chews on her neck, and fails his con check to stop and drains her dry. You watch Bright in horror in the dark as Mordecai crawls over and consumes Celine. Her body withers as he drains her of blood. Mordecai, you feel really empowered.
Oh, I fucked that one up too.
Uh,
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry.
supposed to get up now? I mean, that's what you did, right? You just kind of got up.
Well, I got bit and I didn't die the first time. I couldn't control that. I don't.
Okay, so that's not good.
You're upset.
I'm actually more just trying to make the best of a really bad situation right now. I'm not really upset with you because, I mean,
Okay.
neither of us really understands the vampire powers. But
Right.
you understand why this didn't really go according to plan, right?
Right? Yeah, cause I fucked up. Okay.
Yeah. Well, don't think of it that way. I mean, think of it as like a problem with dental hygiene.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, Jacob, I need a death save. All right. You're still able to get some breath, and I need a death save from you, or not a death save, Bright. I need a con save.
Okay.
Okay,
Oh.
you're kind of
I'm getting a little woozy.
you're getting a little woozy.
Ooh, that's not good.
So
What,
here's the thing.
what do you want me to do?
I think you're gonna need to bite Jacob and do better this time.
Okay, yeah. I go to bite Jacob.
Sure, roll it. You're not used to so much blood. Fortunately, though,
Yeah, I've seen that art before.
And
It's still appropriate.
Jacob, make
time
a.
to bring it back.
While you're unconscious, it doesn't mean you can't make a con save. So go ahead and make a con save. Okay. Mordecai, you bit Jacob, so
Okay.
you did what you're asked.
Okay,
So will he rise like you?
maybe. Cause what?
Maybe.
Cause I got bit and I didn't die, so that's a plus
that's-
right there. He's still
Yeah,
alive.
that's good.
And then I got bitten and like ripped apart by a troll. That was
Yeah.
painful.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
remember
like
that.
it.
Yeah, let's not do that again.
Let's not.
Jacob, as you are bitten in this state, though, I do need you to make a death save, not just the con save. Okay.
Oh, I
Natural
think it's up.
20.
You apparently pulled the last little bit. You are conscious for a moment with this. Something must have like been a shot, like a shot of adrenaline to you here. You are just hanging on to consciousness.
Don't fall asleep. Don't fall asleep again. No.
Okay.
No. Don't fall asleep.
Okay. I will not fall asleep.
Good. That's a good choice.
So what are
Okay.
we doing?
So,
We're still
we're
here.
we're gonna hang on for just a few minutes, and I am gonna summon a monster. I'm gonna summon another gargoyle. It's not appropriate, but it's what I have to do.
Oh.
And So you're gonna need to hang on while I do that, and once that's done,
Hang on to
I know
what?
what we have to do. Just hang on to consciousness for just a little while.
Jacob's conscious.
Yeah, I know. So that's good. That's good. So as soon as I finish this, we're gonna have to make a run for it because we're trapped under here, and I've got this monster who doesn't have to breathe, so that's nice. And Mordecai, I'm gonna need you to dig us out of here.
I'll do what I
You
can.
need to breathe. So
Yeah,
what
yeah.
you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to drop the hut, and when you drop the hut, you're gonna have to start digging. Dig straight up, and you with your hands if you have to. I don't know what else we have. Do we have any digging tools?
I feel like I should ask. When do you want me to drop it?
Not yet. I'll tell you when.
Okay.
This is worse than dominate person. So, as soon as I finish conjuring up this gargoyle. When do I finish conjuring up the gargoyle?
Let's see. It takes a minute, right? So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens in that minute. I need a death saving throw, Jacob.
Even though I'm conscious?
You haven't produced more air. In fact, you're consuming more of it now that you are. Okay. You're still clinging onto consciousness, but the air's not getting any better. And during this time as well, for this minute, I'm going to also need a Constitution save from you, Bright, as your air is getting thin, especially because Jacob is awake. And okay.
Oh no.
And Bright, you fall unconscious as you're casting your Conjure Minor Elemental.
Right.
I seem to
Right.
be. Yeah, I seem to have passed out.
Right?
So, good night.
I try to wake her up.
Right, what do we do? What we're supposed to do?
And
What do I do?
what happens, Jacob, is you fall asleep again after a time. And you're not going to need to wake up. All your worries are gone. No one to tell you what to do. Bright. You wake up. Mordecai, you thought, I mean, she stopped breathing for a while there.
Oh.
But she starts moving again.
Oh, hey, I forgot about that.
Did you really? I didn't. Why do you suppose I never asked you to bite me?
Good point. So we're still here.
Yeah. So, what is that?
A sound from above. And after a while, Bright and Mordecai, and you can completely converse in a carbon dioxide environment. You're fine. It looks like some gnomes were able to locate you all, and a rescue squad has been sent out and has been digging around in the mudslide here. And you can just see some light begin to enter in through the top of the hut. Bright, as the light enters, you start to actually,
That's not great.
like, your skin almost has an ember effect and some little, like, glitter. I mean, maybe you've always wanted this in your life, but not like this. But you actually start, like, emitting glitter from your skin.
Oh, hey, just like me.
Yeah. Sure, if I'm just like you.
And
Are you gonna finish this? And I point over at Jacob.
No, you can have it.
Okay, thanks.
and start digging, and You know, hello? You don't know? Tip, 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 tip on the top of the dome. They can't see through.
Oh, yeah. We're here.
Ooh. Yeah?
We're here.
Let us in.
I have to let it pop.
Yeah. It doesn't... So I'm gonna look around. Does anybody have digging tools? Jacob or Casimir?
I don't believe they
that could
brought
be used as
digging
a-
tools for a tree hunt.
Right.
Actually, hang on, we got this. Don't worry. And you see one of them steps back, and another one looks down, looks at the others. Looks like they have a bunch of rope handy, and he draws out something that's about 1.5 feet long, and taps the top of your hut, and the hut is dissipated, and
Oh.
the mud starts like pouring in. Though they throw down ropes in that moment, like they had it ready, and so the two of you can hold onto the ropes as the mud is now pouring in and starting to fill up. And I mean, maybe it's not as a distressful thing, but they pull you up, Bright. I mean, your face is absolutely covered in blood, and the gnomes, as your friends are buried underneath the unseasonable mud, they look at you. Oh, thank goodness we found you.
I'm pretty glad that you did.
Well, of course. We wouldn't want to do anything else. Why don't we take you back to the village?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Oh, wonderful. All right, come on.
We
And
lost three of the 5.
oh, we did. That's bad, yeah.
I didn't really like him anyway.
Oh, well then screw him. Now let's go back to the village.
Yeah, sounds great.
Yeah. Hey, take a piss on their graves. You had to go right while you're digging. Yeah, just right in the mud. Mix it around with your shovel too. All right, let's get you back.
Okay, thanks.
And you two begin walking back. Right? You don't have to breathe. You can. It's fun, recreational.
Yeah, you know, it doesn't really have much appeal anymore.
I like it though.
And
Yeah.
as
Yeah, but you never understood how to do this.
as you
You've always
return,
been the worst vampire.
Really? Oh. I'm sorry.
wait, the worst vampire, is that bad? Some of the other guides are.
I mean, he could do so much more, and he just doesn't. It's really kind of a waste, don't you think?
Oh, well, we don't.
didn't know I disappointed you that much, right?
You don't know that you disappointed me?
The others look at you.
With
You
your-
disappointed her?
With your constant mewling and your wondering about what's right, and trying to be a better person like you're still a human. Of course you're a disappointment.
What do you want me to do then?
I haven't decided. I'll find a use for you. Maybe I could use you as a footstool. That's the sort of thing you like, right?
I mean, I'll do what you want.
Okay. Well, at least you'll be of some use then. Let's go back to the village and find out who is worthy of being my minions.
And as you return, it is to accolades. No one seems to mind or care, Bright, that you are walking back absolutely covered in blood. And you get a hero's welcome back at your village. And everyone there, there's just like, almost like pink garlands are just strung all over the city. Just like some fine lines and everything. Like it's a big celebration, a big holiday. And when
See,
you
this is more like it. This is the way it should be.
and as you're returning, you have your home. Boop. You live in a tree because you're a forest gnome.
Of course.
And your home is beautiful. In fact, I doubt you'd find anyone who could possibly disagree.
Well, they certainly wouldn't.
Because, coming from your home, leading everywhere, like fun little streamers, enjoyable lines that go into every place and seem to touch everything. Is a flesh tree. But this one, instead of having nasty black hair, disruptive hair, corrupt hair, all of these are your friends. All your friends are at your house. All your friends are your house. Maybe even people who've disappointed you are your house, because they won't any longer. And that horrible black hair that wanted to free people. Disgusting. It's much better when everyone thinks what you want them to think and do what you want them to do. And there's none around who disagree. Mordecai, would you kindly add yourself to the flesh tree?
He kind of hangs his head. Sad that he disappointed the lady. He simply walks into the side of the wall. Kind of sad.
A sad, horned tiefling face is added to the myriad of others. But at least you can always be a footstool she can summon on command. So you have that.
This'll do for now.
For now. And
Get ready to go to the next village.
we have Bright with a wonderful, happy ending where she got exactly what she wanted. And so, we'll take a 5-minute or so break, and we'll come back for our last horror story of the evening, featuring investigator Jacob Stillwaters.